Hello everybody, my name is Christian Quick, and welcome back to another video. Today, we are going to be talking about Help Me Hardcore, the mod that I've been working on for more than a year and is still far from finished. Sort of. The first thing I want to talk about is my background that has inspired me to make the mod and how I learned to code and mod. If you want to skip this part, you can skip it here, because it's just my personal journey to the mod and not the mod itself. So, where did it all start, eh? Well, I love Minecraft, and more than that, I love a good challenge. So I have to admit that I love hardcore. And after playing vanilla, I wanted to I wanted a little twist. I wanted to learn how to mod. I was inspired by Suited Llama, and I ended up starting with Calpin Joe because Suited Llama ended up making like one or two videos before he stopped. And I like Calpin Joe. He's a good person to follow, but I feel that he's efficient, but doesn't explain some of the things in enough details for people to actually learn. He made a how to code series in Java, and even then I found it hard to follow once we got into some of the more complicated stuff, and I didn't know how to apply any of it to Minecraft code, and I really wanted to learn Java. I've already have made data packs in the past for a long time, and the learning process came from a tutorial I found on the Minecraft wiki. That was just all hours of trial and error. I almost gave up once because I spelled the word recipes wrong and I didn't have anything to tell me, and it was a real mess. But that's all JavaScript, which is different. I ended up finding a person called Brocode, and I watched his 12-hour video on how to code in Java. He uses good examples and he makes the learning process fun and throws in jokes here and there. I'll never forget the Kool-Aid. If you want to learn Java, I would highly suggest watching Brocode. As for Calpinjo, I wouldn't say that my tutorials are in like competition with his, but if you watch the video differences, I try and make things simpler. I definitely take my time and make little pointers. This first series probably wasn't a good idea, but it'll probably you'll notice because I have like this new series that I have coming for 1.20 that'll be a lot more in depth and detail, and is specifically made for people who have no coding knowledge and want to code, even if they don't watch the 12-hour video that I did. And I'm sure that as the videos continue into 1.21, I'll continue to explain further and deeper details. I want to make it so that you know everything from nothing in a simple and easy way, but not necessarily efficient. Um, because I would rather over explain something than keep repeating in parts that nobody understands. Up to now, I've been coding for more than a year, and I feel very confident in my ability to both teach and learn. My experience is small and personal, but as long as you have a passion, you'd be surprised with the things that people can achieve. When it comes to Help Me Hardcore, if you skip this part, I'll say it again. I love hardcore, and after so much vanilla, I wanted a little twist, so I learned how to mod. When the series started, it was just me and hardcore, and items were only added by the fan base, filtered because I don't trust any of you. When the series started, I played in 3 worlds, like solo, until I died, which didn't take a very long. I was pretty bad. But in the fourth world, I became stable, self-efficient, and after 10 streams, I wanted to let the twist continue. I moved the world to a server and I made it multiplayer. I made some advertisements, and still, I will just about let anyone who asks play a series with us. I now have a proper Discord set up, so if you want to join up this coming season, let me know. I'll link you up with the Discord and set you up with all the other players. Now, at this point, I was still updating the mod way back then, and Minecraft was updating, and I don't want to fall out of date with Minecraft with what they have in store with us. So I added a combat phase, and at the end of the series, um, I had alternating worlds, so if a player died, they would be moved into a new world until the last person was left in hardcore. They'd be announced the winner, and then everyone would be in the same world again, and it would be set in hardcore. This is a great idea, however, there was a lot of pressure and some precautions. I ended up separating the two servers and making one tutorial world in hard mode, and then I made the hardcore have on and off times to relieve a lot of the pressure, to make it more like fun and friendly and stuff. But there was still a combat phase, and I wanted to make it so that players would rather want to help each other survive than to be afraid of one killing another. Finally, I made a solution with one item and 2 lines of code. This is it. This is where we are now. In the upcoming Revival update, I had rewritten a lot of code. I'm adding some features here and there, but most importantly, I added the Revival Stone. So, what's all the jazz? If a player dies, they just become a spectating player, and before, that was it. In Minecraft, you can prevent death with a totem, but what about a totem basically after you die? Well, in Spectator, you can't do anything. You need to rely on other players to save you now. If they are willing to save you, of course, because you need to be nice to everyone, please. Otherwise, they just won't save you. I wouldn't want to either. A Survivor player needs to get 2 Ender ingots and 2 Netherite ingots from the Nether, and basically cover an Ender star with it to make the item. If a player attempts to use the Revival Stone and there are no spectator players within reach, nothing happens, so that you don't accidentally waste the item, because that would be unfortunate. But if a spectator player is near the player who uses it, the stone will break, reviving nearby players. That's right, players. I had to make a choice of saving one or more than one, and since this is the first release, I wanted to make it worth it. I can always nerf something that's too strong rather than trying to encourage player to make something that's not worth the effort. This item is specifically made with non-renewable resources that are hard to obtain, so it'll be harder and harder for players to keep up, so don't die and you won't be a burden to everyone else. Eventually, world, seasons, and even players change, so at the end of the world, all that wish to make a combat phase can. It's not required anymore. If not, then everyone who survives by the end of the season will be considered a seasoned survivor, and you'll get a role in the Discord for it. For the conclusion, I do have one more feature that I want to add, which is adding status classes, which is caused by doing certain things in the world, which will affect your status, and you can only have one class title at a time. But I don't want to get into too much depth about that. It's still in the works and stuff. Lastly, for Season 7, World 7 is going to be the Revival update is going into. It's this upcoming season, depending on what you want to call it. It will release after 1.20 releases and can take up to a month because I have to update the mod and the version. It's really up to GeckoLib and if there are any critical changes that need to be made. But like I said earlier, if you want to join, let me know in the comments below. I'll direct you to the Discord. I'll see also if I can get a link put in the description, but no guarantees. But that's going to be wrapping up this video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and without further ado,